This is a demonstration of the self-similar synthesizer, an audio program I created in C++ using the Open Frameworks audio libraries. Firstly, I'm demonstrating the audio settings of the program, starting with the audio device selection, which allows you to select from any of your computer's available audio output devices to choose one to produce sound and output it out of. Next, I'm going to show the API selection, which allows you to choose from any API that your computer and device is capable of supporting. On many computers and audio devices, there will only be one viable choice, but on Windows, there are multiple choices, and this program allows you to pick from any of them, as well as some other niche APIs like the Jack API to route between devices on Mac OS. You can also select the sample rate, as shown here, from those available to your device. The buffer size is customizable, as is the MIDI port that you're reading MIDI signals in from, and the available MIDI channels. Now in this video, I'm not going to demonstrate the MIDI capabilities, as they haven't been bug tested, but these toggles here that I glossed over essentially determine whether frequency and duration inputs are derived from MIDI signals or from manual entry. And in this demonstration, we will use only manual entry. As you can see, I entered in a frequency and a time period, and we are hearing an audible result from that. If you do not select loop, then the result will only play once, but if you select loop, it will keep playing. And loop can also be controlled via MIDI signals as well, as can render. As you can see, I'm changing some of the numbers in this set from which the self-similar sounds are derived for a different audible result. And as we change the center duration, the entire progression can speed up or slow down dramatically. And for duration as well as frequency, there's several different units which can be used to determine the value of this manual entry, which won't affect MIDI entry, these values, if you're using MIDI to determine the values. And I've essentially been demonstrating how even just changing the frequency and duration values can lead to a variety of different timbres due to the flexibility of the synthesizer to create sounds at any time scales, be it like the sample level or a much more macro level time scale, like discrete notes, for instance. Now I input some different numbers in the set to get a very different kind of a sound. You can make the set from anything, such as a musical set that you might use in a piece, or some kind of a musical motive, or just something that suits your ears, or it could be itself a self-similar remnant, such as a fractal orbit or the results of an iterative system. One set that I kind of use as an example in this video is the first few digits of the Fibonacci sequence, which is an iterative system. But I also ad-lib some other numbers to input to just see how that sounds. And it's worth noting that this synthesizer is quite capable of producing both musical ideas like melodies as well as timbres, depending on what time scales you're working with. Now I demonstrate the boundary, albeit with limited success. The boundary is a very tricky parameter that can stretch or compress the scope of the audio produced in terms of how low or high the frequencies are and how long or short the audio takes to complete a full cycle. But if you don't know what you're doing exactly and you haven't calculated it out beforehand, it's quite likely you will end up producing audio that you don't really hear the difference of because it's just outside of the scope of human perception. So you have to be quite cognizant of using the boundary parameter, and I usually like to leave it off, but it is there. And that about wraps it up for this simple demonstration of the instrument I've made. It's open source and it will be available freely on the internet shortly, and I will put a link to that once it is up for everyone to download if you'd like to access it sooner. I'm quite happy to share that link with you as well. Just email me